Yeah, Didi, De Bruyne in particular is a concern. He was out with a bad injury, came back. Guardiola's brought him back very gradually, putting him on maybe for the last 20 minutes of some games. He took him off last week, and De Bruyne stormed down the tunnel into the dressing room. He wasn't a happy camper. And I didn't think he played particularly enthusiastically yesterday. He's a huge player for them, isn't he?
He's a huge player, and I think there was a time last year or 2 years ago where everybody said he's one of the best players in the world, or maybe the best player. I said Ronaldo, because some of the assists he's had, some of the passes he's played, the vision, his touch, and his ability to make goals was just sensational. I think the problem with a player like him is Pep Guardiola isn't a man manager. He's a guy who tells the players what he wants them to do. But I think what I hear from especially Bayern Munich, he's not somebody who puts the arm around the shoulder,
right?
And has a particularly close relationship with the players. Now, in De Bruyne, I think he's got a player who needs that. I think he's a flair player. He's a touch player. I think when he's happy, he could be one of the best in the world. If he's not happy, I think you don't get half as much out of him as if his mind is in the right place or his head is in the right place. And that's certainly an issue for me, because if they want to win the league, if they want to go deep in the Champions League, I think you need De Bruyne, because he is the X factor. They've got exceptional players in these or in every position in the team. But if you want to win the Champions League, you need, in some games when you're under the cosh, when you need somebody to produce something out of nothing, you need that player. And De Bruyne is a player in the City team. But as you rightly say, at the moment, he's not really firing.
Okay, John.
Well, he's only coming back. He's only coming back from a serious injury. You know,
the point I was getting to, John, was last week. I think he was taken off after about 65 minutes, but he didn't go and sit on the bench. He stormed off into the dressing room, and it was clear that he was very angry and disappointed. And I think it's interesting the point that Didi made, which I wasn't aware of, about Guardiola, that he isn't like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He doesn't put the arm around the shoulder. In fact, you weren't much of a person for putting your arm around my shoulder when I played for you either. It was around my neck, all right, but not around my shoulder. Now, the point Didi's making is that, it's a significant factor in the Manchester City equation, isn't it? This guy,
of course,
at the end of last season particularly, he did look sensational.
Well, he did, but wasn't he managed the same way when he was doing that, Eamon? You know, he didn't have his arm around his shoulder last year, and he did a business. All players are different. I'm coming off the pitch last week after 60 minutes. No player likes to be substituted, Eamon.
Right.
Everybody hates it. He might come off and they put a smile on their face, but they hate it.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a humiliation, and I think the reason he did it wasn't because he was playing badly. Actually, he's nursing them along.
Right.
Now, De Bruyne took it that way. That's okay. That's up to himself. But that's the way it was. I mean, he's coming back. He played okay yesterday, but he had the series. He was out for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think Guardiola's doing the right thing, playing him for the 60 minutes to get him back. Of course, Guardiola wants him back to his best, and I'm sure De Bruyne wants to get back to his best. But I think that's the way he decided to do it. But I think it's a storm in the teacup, to be quite honest, because he played well again yesterday. He made a pass for the good pass for the second goal in the City team. So he is a terrific player. He's the most gifted player they have, and I think that's the most important player. But I think you'll find that he will come back to his best.
Okay.